Welcome to Projetez-Vous. This podcast series is dedicated to project management. I'm your host, Mirvet Mtimet, with over 10 years of experience as a project manager and PMO. Additionally, I am a certified project management professional and actively volunteer with the Project Management Institute of France. I love sharing my knowledge and assisting you in managing your project. That's why I coach and train in project management and its related professions. I am convinced that understanding the intricacies of project management allows you to succeed in everything you undertake, whether in your professional or personal life. Every week in the podcast, we will explore together the different facets and use of project management. I will regularly invite professionals to explain their method and experience on selected topics. Project management enables you to structure, coordinate, and control all stages from conception to delivery. You can discover how and live with some tips. I invite you to subscribe and follow me for more content on project management. Hello everyone and welcome to this new episode of Projetez-Vous. Today we will explain the myth of Agile project management. Today we will explore the myth of Agile project management. You may have heard that it's the miracle solution to all your projects, or perhaps you've heard the opposite. In any case, we will delve into the myths and realities of this fascinating methodology. The first myth about agility is that it is primarily a mindset, a culture. Yes, there are tools like Scrum or Kanban, but they are effective only if the teams adhere to the Agile principles. Where does this myth come from? Indeed, agility was created to be flexible and adaptable. In English, it is called an adaptive method, meaning the scope is in constant evolution. This aligns with the fast-paced nature of today's society. Many companies, instead of implementing all the ritual and ensuring agility works, tend to say, yes, we are very agile as a company, while not using any agile tool. This became a common language, a common expression. Agility was created with specific tools and methods such as Scrum methodology, Kanban, and now even methodologies at scale. The difference between Scrum methodology, Kanban, or methodology at scale is the effect. Scrum and Kanban are for teams, team by team, but methodologies at scale, like SAFe, for example, or disciplined Agile from the PMI, agility applied to the entire company with many teams that are applying agility methods. However, it is pointless to claim agility while maintaining a traditional company operation. So, this was the first myth. I hope this episode has helped you better understand what Agile project management is and how it could benefit your organization. If you want to know more about agility methodology, the episode 2 of the podcast is explaining all the existing methodologies of project management. Agility is not a miracle solution, but a tool that, when used correctly, can bring enormous advantages. Another myth is that with agility, there is no need for planning. In reality, planning still exists in agility, but is more flexible and continuous. You plan in the short term and adjust based on feedback and changes. Today, we also see agility at scale in the corporate world, meaning that we no longer look at shorter cycles, like a sprint of 2, 3, or 6 weeks, but also at longer cycles consisting of 8, 9, or 10 sprints. This is called a release train. For example, in the SAFe methodology, you can estimate the expected result over the 2, 3, or 4 months that are following. We need to specify when the first project will be released in 2 or 3 weeks, the first sprint, and when the project will be complete. It's also an indicator of the project's success. The idea is that agility is not only about quickly delivering a project, you also need to ensure stability and security, especially in sectors like banking. Another myth in agility is that there is no documentation. This is false. Agility requires minimal and necessary documentation. Communication and traces need to be left, as well as feedback mechanisms. It's not an excuse to neglect documentation. There are many agile tools for this purpose, like Jira, where all movement and ticket treatments are recorded. Agility does leave traces and documentation. Additionally, there is another tool associated with Jira. There is another tool associated with Jira called Confluence. This is functioning as a document management system and going further by documenting each tool developed during different sprints. I want to talk to you about another myth, which is the ability and the easiness to adopt agility. Adopting an agile mindset and practices can be challenging. It requires a cultural change and commitment at all other levels of the organization. As with any change in a company, there will always be resistance. I've explained this in several episodes, and I may have developed an entire episode to it. You need to accompany change management for a successful methodology implementation. This is certainly not unique to agility. It applies to other methodology and new processes as well. Do not neglect the fact that understanding and embracing agility will take time, requiring change management support. I have seen many companies that decided that they wanted to be agile and to embrace all routines, all tools of agility, but they thought that it will be done next week without any preparation, that the teams will, at the moment where the C-level decided to be agile and to have more agile team, that the team will follow instantly. This is not what is happening. For each change, whether in your personal life or in your professional life, you need to follow a certain process in order for you to accept this change, to adopt it, and to make it your own. So it is a very big mistake from company that will engage millions of euros in the adoption of agility, its tools, but will not see the human aspect of it, the resistance to change that can happen when they wanted agility to be done in their company. So what I suggest for company is to hire people that will be called, for example, agile coaches, that will teach the teams what is the agile culture, why are there many rituals, many meetings, how the sprint work, and what is the purpose of putting agile in your company. I will add a supplementary myth, is that agility is for every type of project, every project. I don't think so. It's not because you are modern that you need to have an agile framework. sometimes a more traditional framework is more accurate, is more adaptable, and really corresponds to your type of project. Agility really is for very fast-paced project that can change, that the scope will change constantly because it will answer the market. But there are some projects that are scope constant, that you know the scope from the beginning of the project, it will never change, but it will take 2 or 3 years and it needs certain steps. Do not do the mistake to put agility for this project. You can aspire and to avoid, for example, the scope script, you can maintain the same meeting as in agility. Like say, there will be a meeting every day for 15 minutes in order for everyone to give a status on their tasks and what will happen next. This is a very nice stand-up meeting that can be used in another framework than agility, because it is something efficient and very good. So now that I've listed the 5 myths and the bonus myth, I will conclude by giving you some advice for a successful transition to Agile. It happens that when you arrive on a project as a project management officer or in the management of a company at the C-level, for example, you realize that your work methodologies are not adequate and your results are not optimal. Perhaps you notice that your solutions take too much time to be implemented and the market is moving too fast. This is when you decide to implement the Agile methodology in the company. So start by educating and training. It is the first step to raise awareness about agility. Often, an Agile coach is necessary to do this, and organized agility games such as poker planning. First, sensitize and acculturate the company to agility. Then, start with a small team, begin small, implement all rituals, examine the results, and make corrections. Once it works for a department or the whole company, it's important to have the commitment of the management. The management needs to be 100% committed to the implementation. There should be no division between departments, teams, and management. A decision can be made that agility is what benefits the company the most, and that's when it should be launched. Of course, the management must be involved at all stages of the implementation. I'm not saying that management should then attend all Scrum meetings, all daily meetings, and all sprint planning. However, management must have a common language with the coach and the managers who implement this methodology. Usually, there is a confrontation. Yes, the management wants the agility, but they don't understand the report, the velocity, how it is working. So they ask the teams that are agile and that adopted well the agile framework to go back to some old framework reports to be more traditional. So this is an agility that implementation that didn't work. It's not the adoption from the teams only, but also the adoption from the C-level. The implementation of agility must listen and adapt. If there are things that do not work for the company, adjustments must. If there are things that do not work for the company, adjustments must be made accordingly. You cannot impose things that makes no sense. There must be a meaning in all rituals. If there isn't, the ritual needs to be understood or adapted. Thank you for listening to this episode where we delved deeper into agility methods and its myths. I am sure you have now some strategies and some tools to explain and to implement agility in your companies. I hope this episode was full of value for you, and if you like this format, please put a review or a comment on this episode and give a mark to continue doing Projetez-Vous in English.